Get it all on bjpresent.com.
Hello, I'm Tony Young, and every week I will be your guide to the music of the Fab Four with my show With the Beatles. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr, those four lads from Liverpool. First airings are Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. with repeats on Thursdays and Saturdays from 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. Tune in to catch Beatlemania.
This is a Rainier Avenue Radio message on fentanyl awareness in our communities.
Sought out Percocet from the street dealer, and it was 100% fentanyl, and it instantly killed him.
We've seen young people trying drugs for the first time without realizing there's fentanyl in their drugs, overdose. I see the eyes of the people who I was not able to save. And not only have I seen people out on the streets overdose, but I had friends who have overdosed as well. I don't think people understand how all-encompassing, how fentanyl can take over somebody. And they're just not themselves. They're a totally different person. And it's so addictive. They're just chasing their next high.
This has been a Rainier Avenue Radio message on fentanyl in our communities.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining another episode of Real Estate and Money. I'm one of your hosts, Tina Lombard. How are you, V?
I'm good. Look at you. Don't you look beautiful? Wow. Yes. I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth. Let me move.
And we are bringing you a very special show today. We're going to be talking about Lunar New Year. Of course, everybody celebrated in the Asian community. So you want to be here for that. We're going to be talking about Feng Shui a little bit later. Mm-hmm. Yes, with Cynthia Lee Chan.
Okay.
Great.
That'll be exciting. Great. That'll be so much fun.
Yes, it'll be a lot of fun. Yes. So V, what do you have for us?
Well, we're going to focus on the Lunar New Year traditions and all that, but I wanted to let everyone know what Lunar New Year is all about. This is 2025 is the year of the snake. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of testing. And it symbolizes renewal, wisdom, and spirituality for the year. And it's a wood snake year. I don't know what that means. It's a particular.
It's the year of the snake. It's the year of the snake.
Yeah. Yes. And then renewal, which means letting go of old patterns and embrace innovation. Symbol of wisdom and elegance in the Chinese culture. And adaptability. The year of the snake is a time for thoughtful action and strategic change. So if you're going to make a change, have enough courage to do that, and you'll be successful at whatever it is you're going to do. The people born this year, in the year of the snake, not just this year, but they're probably intelligent, charismatic, and artistic people. They're curious, charming, and intuitive. And they have a magnetic allure and sharp intellect. And what people can expect for the year of the snake, especially if they're born this year, they may face significant decisions regarding love, work, health, and family. They'll experience changes, but these changes can be good for growth. And they need to embrace the changes and focus on caring for themselves and their families. So it's all about change and renewal this year. What is your zodiac year, your Chinese animal?
The snake.
You are?
Yes, I'm a snake. Charismatic, intelligent. Yeah.
My gosh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was born in 1965. So
okay.
I know there are certain colors associated with me this year. I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but today's going to be red.
Yes.
But, yes.
I kind of have red and gold on, a little bit of pink, but yeah, typically Chinese, the primary color is red, right? And that's a beautiful shimmery red you got on.
Yes,
so really cool.
Yes.
What else do I have to say? Oh, some traditional things that people do during Lunar New Year. That they visit senior members of their family. And there's, I've seen this a lot in parades, the lion dance.
Yes.
And this is to usher in the new year and expel evil spirits. That's what the lion dance is. And then, of course, fireworks and firecrackers started all in China, right?
Yes.
And, I know I've even gotten this. They, the older folks give out red envelopes or red packets to children and teenagers with money in it, cash, a little bit of cash. The Lunar New Year lasts about 15 days, and at the very end, there's a lantern festival, and where they celebrate. They eat glutinous rice balls, and the children carry lanterns in around the neighborhood. And what else do you know, Tina? Anything more than that?
Well, they usually have celebrations all over the place. I mean, in our community here, even though we represent like maybe 1.9% of the population of Colorado, there are still a lot of events going on. You can always celebrate that. Yeah, you can always celebrate Lunar New Year. Just Google it. But there's always events going on at different churches, communities, and Asian neighborhoods. So, for me, I'm going to try this weekend to go out and, or actually Thursday to go out and see what I can get my hands into. But it is one of these New Year's. It's a special way in which Asians actually celebrate. And it's very, very privy to the Asian community. So it's just something you want to celebrate. If you're Asian, celebrate. If you are accustomed to the traditions, that's awesome. But if you're not, it's really something that you can get into. Your community can actually help you celebrate your tradition. And I just think it's just a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, a lot of deep-rooted tradition and culture. So this is great. And
there's always, I see a lot of like moon cakes.
Yes.
Around. And just all kinds of real nice pastries, pineapple cake, and wheat cakes. And what I saw a lot of at Costco are Legos in the shapes for Lunar Festival.
Oh, how cute!
Yes.
Oh, that is so
amazing
cute.
that they've embraced that and made a number of different items out of Legos.
So are you going anywhere this year for Lunar New Year?
No. You? I know there's so many going on, and it's a lot of it is in Seattle, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Oh, look at that, Daniel. Look at you. Got the little Lego set with the Lunar New Year.
Yeah. So here there's a lot of communities. We got a lot of communities up on Federal here in Colorado, like Federal Street. We've got some communities off of Havana Street in Aurora, where there's a lot of restaurants and a lot of stores, a lot of shops, a lot of businesses in the Asian community. So it's just a chance for you to get out there and really celebrate your tradition. It's a year. Yes, it's a year. And so, what we're going to do here today on real estate and money, we're going to be talking to a person who is a consultant and a guru and an informative, a person who knows everything about Feng Shui. We've got Cynthia Lee Chan that's going to be joining us, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about Feng Shui, what it is, how it celebrates our Asian heritage.
Okay.
So is Cynthia on, Daniel?
Hi.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
Hi, Cynthia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for asking me to be on here.
Here, tip your computer down just a little bit so your face comes up just a little bit. There you go. That's it.
Yeah. Yes. Now I can see you. There.
Yes. Hey.
There we go.
So Cynthia actually has been a joy and delight. I met her here in Colorado, and when I was the president of the Asian Real Estate Association, she actually came and taught a class for us, and it was one of these mesmerizing classes that you'll never forget. But Cynthia, thank you for joining us. And can you tell us a little bit of what the definition of Feng Shui is?
Yes, I'd be happy to. And actually, there's different types of Feng Shui, different schools of Feng Shui. And so the type that I do is classical feng shui, which does involve actually different schools of feng shui within that. And it's so much more complex than what people realize. It is the analysis of qi, which is the energy that flows through your body, and it also flows through your environment. And the interaction of the two influences how you manifest your life. And so with this analysis of that qi, I can help people by using strategies. They're elemental strategies. So we're talking about earth, water, wood, metal, and which one did I not say? Wood.
Air?
Air. No, it's not air, because air actually
Earth, wind, and fire. Earth, wind, and fire.
Fire. Yeah, right.
Fire.
Right, fire.
That's how I
So
remember
those are
it.
the 5 elements. So I would tell people specifically where to put them in their house, so that they can, it can help them to guide their life and boost up the things that they want in their life and squash the things that they don't want in their life. But the main thing, really, in my opinion, that's the absolute golden treasure of classical feng shui is the awareness. We all have cycles of qi that affect us. And so to know that, oh my gosh, well, this year maybe is a tougher year or a golden year, and then that way you can use your proactive actions in order to get through it in a much more positive way. And then the strategies help it make it easier to do that. But when you're in alignment with your qi is when you are the most happiest and achieving what it is that you want in life.
Well, maybe we have to start with you defining qi. What is qi?
Qi is energy. It's an unseen force that's in our environment and, like I said, in our body, and it does flow in cycles. And it's actually 20-year, yearly, monthly, daily, even hourly cycles. And it absolutely does affect how we manifest our lives.
Okay. So you said there are 3 different schools of feng shui?
Well, there's actually more than 3. There's different types of schools.
Okay, can you tell us the basic, the ones that would be more relevant to our lives that we could use?
Well, there's Flying Stars Feng Shui, which is does these time cycles that I'm talking about. It studies those time cycles for the most part. And then there's 8 Mansions, and that studies the sectors that you have within your environment and how each sector affects you, and how it affects you on a cyclical basis, as well as how it affects you for your lifetime. And it's not only location, but it's directional. Which way does the qi come and affect you?
Oh, okay. So,
Cynthia, do you have a lot of consultations with people who are trying to buy a house and they want it feng shui directionally and inside? Yeah.
And I get them in different ways. I have people like if they're buying land and then they want to design a house, to design it such that it promotes specifically what they want in life. That's the thing that's so different about the types of classical feng shui that I do, and something like black hat sets, where black hat set is very general. They say, you have a love corner, a wisdom corner, you have certain areas that is the same for everybody. Whereas classical feng shui is very specific to what you do. So like if a lawyer comes to me and says, I want to build a house, the way that we would set that up would be completely different than we would for a massage therapist, let's say. Because we're looking for very specific qi that has to do with legal issues, so that we make sure that's present in his environment, so that he has the qi to draw in people that need legal help.
Okay, so not just it's for houses, but do you do buildings like hotels, stadiums?
Yeah,
buildings.
I have. So yeah, actually, I've never done a stadium, but I know my feng shui master has even studied stadiums to see, like, what's their season going to be like? Where's the main source of qi coming in? That type of thing. So that's a very fascinating study. I know that he has feng shui for like polo fields, things like that. So yes, you can do it for those type of sporting things. But definitely office buildings, also just offices within offices buildings, because sometimes, you don't own the building, but you have your own office. So you can definitely feng shui for those offices. We can feng shui for corporations that are big things. We can definitely, when buildings are building, that we feng shui to make sure that it has the energy to attract the type of businesses that they want to attract.
Oh, very good. Well,
Yeah.
I remember, Cynthia, at one of your classes, you were talking about how you studied, and you said there are different classes, there are different buildings that are famous that you can tell the feng shui was taken into consideration. Do you remember talking
Well,
about that? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well, yes, because this was just a study that my class did. We've traveled all over the United States and we've studied famous buildings. So, in other words, we studied John Lennon's building to see what was in his chi at the time that he was murdered, and what was in his life cycle as well, and how did those life cycles of his building interact with the life cycle of his own chi, and what did we see for that? And I have to tell you, I do use mathematical formulas, compass readings, time cycles, 5 elemental theory, and floor plans to be able to determine these types of things. But anyway, and we study like Bernie Madoff's building. What is it in his chi that allowed him to swindle so many people, and what cycle was he in when he was busted? You know, so we study things like this, and we did it all over the nation. You know, even studying in Washington D.C. and seeing what cycle was the Capitol in, or the U.S. Treasury. We also did Los Angeles, many different buildings, and it's very specific again to who are the occupants and what is it that's going on, and we compared the math of the chi to compare and see, like, oh wow, and it blew our minds.
Oh yeah!
Wow,
how interesting.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
So you know, Cynthia. So Cynthia, you know, I basically do the mortgages, but I know Violeta does a lot of showing of the homes. So you know, sometimes a client will walk to a house and say, "Oh no, nope, there's something about here that I like." Some people say, "This is the house." Does that have to do with chi? And if so, what are some of the biggest mistakes homeowners do, and one of the biggest things that they actually do right?
Well, you know, it's very, like I said, very specific to the individual. So, yes, you're absolutely right. It is the chi that's making them feel that way, and it's different for everybody. You know, because you may have one person that walks in there and their purpose in life, their priorities, what they do for a job, is all in alignment to what's going on in the environment of which they walk into, and they're going to go, oh wow, this feels so good because it promotes exactly who they are. But so that a different person that has a whole different career, you know, different goals, might walk in and go, oh, that doesn't feel good at all. So, so yes, it definitely is the chi, and it is the case too that we have to realize that, you know, the times that we have that are not favorable as we would feel in our lives are sometimes the very things that help us to grow. And so sometimes you may walk into a place that may not be in alignment with what you think you want, but it is exactly what your soul needs to get to where it needs to go, or to be more valuable in contributing to the universe, more valuable in contributing to your own life. And so sometimes we choose and we feel good in some of the places where we wouldn't normally consider, like, this would be what I would want for my life. But, you know, that experience is having these challenging times in order to grow and expand and to have more awareness about, and to be more conscious and to be able to help more people. You know, all of those things often come from our trials that we've had in our own lives. So what classical feng shui can do is to help you have that awareness. Okay, you're going to have either this home is the type of thing that it's going to provide for you. And so here's what you can do to learn those lessons proactively so that it doesn't have to hit you so hard. And we put in strategies so it can soften the blow, you know, and so that you can learn your lessons gently and with more ease and grace, instead of having these horrible things come in and hit you, and, you know, you're having to learn your lessons by being in the fire. You get what I mean, right? Yeah.
Well, so what are some of the things that people do, like you know, when you go into your bedroom and then the foot of your bed shouldn't face one way or that way, or, you know, you shouldn't block the view when people come in. I mean, are there things like that are important?
Well, in classical feng shui, there's no generalities like that. I mean, in an ideal world, yes, we would like it to be so that your feet doesn't face the door, and or that your head isn't against a window, or things like that. That's in an ideal world. But there's never a time when everything will be perfect. That's just humanity. And so the most important thing, instead of those things that we're talking about that are more those generalized for everybody things, the most important things are, where are the places that you need to be for what you want, what's most important to you. So it's not going to be the same for everybody. Even in the same house, it is not going to be the same for everybody.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So when is the time when you're sitting in your home and you're looking around, you're like, something's off. I've owned this house for 8 years. Something's off. What is the time of the trigger in which you should probably reach out to somebody like yourself about getting some type of consulting for Feng Shui?
Okay, well, that's really different for everybody, because if it's definitely the case, if you have reoccurring things that keep hitting you and it's like, why does this keep happening to me? Well, that's definitely a time to see someone like me, because then you can find out, oh, is this a 20-year cycle that I am in? That's why it keeps happening. Is this a yearly cycle, a monthly cycle? What type of cycle it is. And then once you find out, well, what cycle it is that it is, and is it my life cycle, so I'm going to have it no matter where I live, or is it the cycle of my environment? And maybe that's something that's a 20-year cycle. It's in my environment, and it's very, very, let's say it's a crucial thing, like you're having health issues. Then it might be that you want to move, but the good thing about it is that a person like me can go in and say, okay, here's where it is. Okay, now we might find out that this thing that's causing your health issues or your problems, your arguing and fighting, your issues with authority, whatever it is in your bedroom, let's say. Well, perhaps there's another room that you can stay in, and then it's eradicated, and it's totally eradicated.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Another room, so it could be that type of thing. But, it's good for people also who are proactive, that are saying, okay, I'm moving into a place. I want to make sure I'm at the highest level of operation, to where I'm going through as much ease of grace as I can, knowing what's coming up so I can be proactive, knowing where I have to change my ways, and then plus putting in the strategies to help you get it through it with ease and grace. Well, then, it could be that you're not even needing it, so to speak. You just want to be proactive so that you don't have to go through these things at the intensity of which it's there if you don't do anything.
What's the story that you saw when people buy the house, before they buy the house, or after they or before they move in? I mean, what is one of the stories that you have for somebody using your consultation for a house?
Well, okay, so I do everything from design, and so I definitely have people who have me help them with. I even help people pick out land. So it could be from the very, very beginning. But I have a lot of people who have already bought the property, and they're saying, okay, I'm getting ready to move in, and I want to know, because most of the people's perception of Feng Shui is not this deep. They just think, oh, now I've already bought the house, I'm moving in, just tell me what paint to use and, where to put my bed, but they don't realize that there's so much more that we can help you with and help you in establishing, like room usage. Like if you have 2 kids and you have 2 options or 3 options of where they can sleep, which one is going to help your child to have the most ease and grace, or to be more in alignment with their energy, so they're not struggling so much. So we can do that right off from the very beginning. But then you have people that, of course, have moved in and have been there for years, and then they hire me, and then it's like, okay, let's work with what we have.
Right.
And then we do the best we can with the awareness of where is this chi, and the thing about it is, here's what's really important is that it's a case where sometimes you have a cycle and at some main place, let's say you have a condo, and the main source of your issues is at the door, and you only have one door you can use. Well, of course, you can't reach the door. So the key here is awareness. And again, knowing the yin and yang properties of that chi, because if you're experiencing one side of that chi that is unfavorable, What are the attributes of that same chi that are favorable? So you can start doing more about that.
Right.
And then the unfavorable goes away because you're manifesting it in a way that's still in alignment with the chi, but it's in a positive way. So you can, I can help people even without doing strategies, just in the fact of knowing how to work with that chi with your own actions and with how you work. One big one, I'm working with a client today that she asked me, and she's been my client for like 20 years. And so she said, well, I wanted to know this year, is advertising good for me? And I said, no, actually this year, the chi for advertising actually destroys your chi. So you're going to pay a lot out for that, and then you're not going to make any money off of it. So you're going to be wasting money if you do that advertising. So this year, you should get out and do one-on-one networking. So it's that type of thing, where you're really looking at the exact type of chi they have. What is it that they're trying to accomplish? And is what they're trying to accomplish in alignment with it? And if not, how can I help them with the understanding so that they can get in alignment so they can move forward?
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I know.
I know you mentioned some time earlier that numbers is a big thing. I know even house numbers, some clients are going, oh, that's not a good number.
Well, yes.
What are you talking about?
Yes. And especially if they believe that, because, it's definitely the case that they believe that this particular number is going to hurt them, then definitely don't take it. But it is the case that numbers are not, they are, well, how would I say, they're more of a reflection of what's happening in that place. But it's not chi itself, so it's not actually influencing what's going to happen. So it's not as powerful as the actual chi that you have that's flowing in a cyclical basis. Do you see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. I would not discourage somebody to move into somewhere if they absolutely loved the place, but the number is what they perceive to be off. But if they can't get over that feeling like, oh, I know if I get this, I'm going to just have a terrible time. Well, they'll create that through their own thoughts.
What are the good numbers?
Well,
strong numbers.
And this is very specific to the individual, because like each number represents a different element. So if you say like, okay, if you have a person that is a metal person, and let's say they have the numbers for fire in their address, then that melts them down. Let's say, let's say that, then that could be it. But again, it's not real chi. It's like a representation of chi. The numbers are. Do you see what I'm saying? But in general, and if you talk to people, especially Asian culture, there's a lot of superstition with that. Numbers and things like that. But the 9 right now is the 20-year cycle that we're in. It is a cycle of fire. So whatever cycle we're in, that is the king. That is the golden chi, so to speak. So 9 is now really good. Ones that are.
I'm in a 9. I'm in a 9. Yeah.
You add all the numbers, right?
No, because that's numerology. That's not the way that we do it. It's a different formula of what you get to it than numerology.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be the same.
We're short on time. We have to get going, but my goodness, didn't we open up?
I know there's so much we could talk about.
So many. So
I know
fun.
when you said 20 minutes or whatever, I thought, okay, but there's so much more.
Yeah, I know.
That's just a glimpse into what classical feng shui is, and it is absolutely fascinating.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many stories that I could tell you. Wow.
Well, thank you.
People.
Yeah.
We'll have to invite you back.
Do this on a yearly basis, Cynthia.
Well, I would love to. Yeah.
I know.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you so much for asking me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And how can we get a hold of you? How can they call you up? How can people call you up?
As far as you can find me, and actually my name is Cynthia Lee Chan at Gmail. That is my website. Yes. And Feng Shui is spelled with an E, Feng, just so you know. But they can find me. Yeah, they can text me. I mean, my website has all my contact info. So that's healystand.com is where you go.
All right.
Great. Okay, great. Well, thank you, Cynthia.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes, bye. Bye. Okay, so we've got a few announcements really quick here. We've got the Call to Conscious Black History Month Museum opens on Saturday daily from February 1st to the 28th to be started by a live broadcast of opening ceremonies this Saturday at 10 a.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio. Find out more about this year's exhibits and get your tickets early at calltoconscious.world. Also, Rainier Avenue Radio will be broadcasting high school basketball this Saturday as Rainier Avenue Radio broadcasts the last ever game at Crawford Court at 5:30 p.m. with number 9 Eastside Catholic at number 1 Rainier Beach before their gym is torn down.
You and I will
Rainier
have
Beach
to
in the
talk
house.
about that.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, yes.
Thank you all for joining us today on our special Lunar New Year show. And we look forward to having you again next week on Rainier Avenue. Real Estate and Money on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. I'm Violeta Strash with Coldwell Banker Danforth.
And I'm Tina Lombard. Hi, I'm with Tina Lombard with Texana Bank. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.